guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. A little bit of a different format today, a little higher up. Today I want to shop my stash, but for Disney World for you. So if you are a Disney nerd like I am, then you love going to the parks and you love taking the pictures. Now, makeup is huge for me when it comes to Disney parks because those photos, those memories are forever. And some may see it differently. Some people, it's like, no, that's my time for vacation. That's my time to just relax. I don't really want to have to get up to do makeup. I am quite the opposite. So I love taking pictures at Disney. We have gotten some amazing photos. I'll probably insert a few into this video just so that you can see, just for fun. But today, that was a super long intro. We're going to shop my stash for Disney World so that if you have had like trouble picking out what to take to the parks, if you're going for the first time and are wondering what you should take, then stick around because I'm going to walk you through how I like to pick my makeup out in the hopes that it helps you too. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Alright guys, so first off, my apologies on my room. It is a mess, so if it looks messy, that's why. So let's go ahead and start off with my bag. So I'd like to use this Steve Madden bag to basically travel with my makeup. It's very, very large, and I got it at Marshall's. It fits so much stuff, and this is just the perfect bag. I mean, anything you have really can work, but something that you can take in which you can divide out your makeup, like put your palettes in one pouch or one side and then divide out everything else into the other side. That I have found has helped really to keep me organized. I can't even get the zipper open. Keep me organized and just, you know, not only for packing purposes, but also like the morning of when you're getting ready and you're trying to sift through all this stuff. So let's just go ahead and start, I don't know, I guess in order of how I do my makeup. So let's go into my drawer. If you are familiar with Shop My Stash on my channel, then you know how I do this. So let's go ahead and actually come over to the foundation. So foundation is huge. It also depends what time of year you're going. So we typically like to go at the Christmas season. So once they've set everything up, and that's typically November into December. So this year we went for Halloween season, which was incredibly hot. I would highly suggest going as close to Halloween as you can if you don't want to be in the heat. But I'm going to tell you that my foundation of choice for Disney World, and this is what I take every single time, is Born This Way. And it's because it just holds up well if I use a primer underneath, and the shade is just so perfect. It really gives me that healthy looking shade. I am in the shade light beige, and for reference, I am a light to light medium skin tone. So this is always my foundation of choice for Disney World. Now, I will tell you, as far as primer, the primer that has helped my foundation look the best at Disney is the Tatcha Silk Canvas. Now, if you're looking for an alternative, I know the, what is it? Is it NYX? No, I'm sorry, it's e.l.f. That putty primer I've heard is a good dupe for this. I have not tried it, but just so that you know, this is the primer of choice for me when it comes to Disney World. It just gives me that really blank canvas, and I highly enjoy using it. So that is that. Now let's come back over here. So let's start taking out things like concealer. So because of the Born This Way, I also like to pair it with the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers of all time. It gives me the coverage I need without drying me out. It looks very healthy, and it just pairs really well with the foundation. So that's definitely a must. I don't take multiple concealers because obviously when you're packing, you want to try and be as minimal as possible, and this is already going to be quite a bit of stuff. So in this drawer, obviously you still see like my staples. I mean, I don't have to pick a mascara. This is the mascara. And then I do like to take my liner as well. I like this Kaja Duo because it gives me the stamp for the wing, a little bit less time to do a wing, which takes me a while. So this is quite helpful, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who is struggling with a wing. Obviously, in Florida, you need things like, obviously, face primer, but eye primer as well. My primer of choice for Disney is the Fenty Pro Filter Primer, and that's because it's so tacky that it really helps my shadow adhere and all day long. when you're in the heat, and regardless of when you go, even if you go like in November, December, you're spending long days at the parks. And I'm talking like your extra magic hours, 7 a.m. to possibly 10, 11 p.m. And you're looking for something that's going to last. And this will help your eyeshadow to last. I have gotten a couple of questions on, you know, eye primer for like a little more oily lids. I would highly recommend the NARS eye primer. I have a really great friend who has also oily lids, and the NARS one has just worked wonders for her. Now, if you're going to take falsies, you got to have lash glue. This is the House of Lashes lash glue. Ironically, I picked it up at the Sephora at Disney Springs in Florida, and so it's what I have been using at this time. I really can't tell you if it's, I mean, everybody says this is locked and loaded for your lashes. I don't know that yet because, quite frankly, today's the first day I'm using it. So anyways, that is that. Any lash glue will do, and honestly, if you are wearing falsies to the park, I suggest putting your lash glue in your bag in case they kind of lift up on rides. If you ride something like the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster, that can pull up your lashes. Just trust me on that. So anyways, I think we are good in here. Aside from the normal things like your eyeliners and stuff like that, I typically just take a basic liner. You know, I don't think too hard on that stuff. So then let's move on to powder. My favorite powder is, and continues to be, has been ever since it launched, is the Huda Easy Bake. This stuff just, again, it really does an amazing job, not only at helping my base, my foundation look flawless, but it also just really holds on all day long. And I'm telling you, I look back on our pictures and I'm like, man, I'm so hung up on my makeup routine for Disney at how amazing it has made my makeup look and pictures come out, that like I have stuck with this same set year after year. So that is my powder of choice. If you are curious, I am in the shade Pound Cake. So that is that. Okay, now let's move on to some more of the fun stuff. And there's a couple things that are also staples. There's a couple things that I kind of rotate out. So, okay, so let's move into highlight. Now, those of you who are, again, familiar with Shop My Stash know that this is my highlight drawer. I'm not going to pick from here. Let's just pick, I already know what I need. Let's see. It is the, oh, it's right in front of me? No, that's not it. Hold on, it's this one. Okay. The Makeup Forever Starlit Powder in the shade 13. I think it's 13. Yep. This is the most amazing highlighter. It truly and honestly, if I had to pick a favorite highlighter of life, it would be this one. I have used this highlighter every single time we've gone to Disney World, and every single time my highlight just pops. So if you're looking for something like maybe you want to go a little more natural and just do like a BB cream or even just a moisturizer and you want to just add a little bit of blush and highlight, this will stand out. So this is what we will pick for highlight. As far as, you know, options or variety, I don't take any. That's the only highlight that I take. As far as bronzer, that is something that I tend to kind of vary up. There's not one staple that I take. I will tell you that the bronzers that I just keep on coming back to time and time again are the Hourglass bronzers, just because they make me look healthy, they look so good, they warm up my skin, and they're just the perfect bronzer. So honestly, that's what I would recommend. But again, there's just so much to choose from, and don't go out and buy an Hourglass bronzer just because of that. You know, use what you have in your stash. Really, there's no right or wrong. It's really all up to you and what you want, but just as an idea, that's what that looks like. So that's what I'm going to pick out for my bronzer. Again, pick out anything you want. If you want a matte bronzer, obviously the Hourglass is not matte, but that's what we've got going on for highlight and bronzer. So let's go ahead and move on to blush. Now, we're gonna have to go back to the desk, and I'm sorry to make y'all dizzy, but honestly, for blush, I like, and I've told y'all this before, if you've stuck with my channel, I like palettes. I don't like taking individual blushes, because then I feel like it's a little more bulky and you can't get as much use out of your space. So again, pardon the mess. I think this weekend I'm going to clean up this room because it's just a little bit drastic here. Okay, so this particular one is the one I took most recently, and it is the Jouer Bouquet d'Amour. I have found that I really, really enjoy the Jouer formula, and you get just a variety. So dependent on what your eye look is, I mean, you got something here. You can go a little bit more nude, you can go a little bit more rich if you're going easy on the eyes. So that is what I'm going to set aside for blush. But again, minimize the bulk, maximize your space by taking a face/blush palette. Doesn't have to be this one. Pick whichever one you want. So we've got highlight. We've already got blush. Let me turn on this little lamp. There we go. And then here we have got bronzer, some highlights. We've already covered that. And then got some palettes here, but really don't need much to choose from. What you could do also is, obviously, Disneyworld is your place to be a kid. It's like your inner kid. So if you want to do it big and go extra, you can always use like glitter for your face, extra glitter for your eyes, whatever the case may be. I have not done that, but I did. Here's what's funny. I wanted to take this on this last trip, or one of these glitters, and I completely forgot, but that's okay. So anyways, that is that for this drawer. Now, let's come over here. This is a drawer I don't typically, when I do shop my stash, I don't typically grab anything from here because I just usually use whatever pair of lashes I have out. That's what I use, and I use them until they're done. But I will tell you, every time we go to Disney, I take one pair of Kiss Ritzy lashes. They're in the style Ritzy. This is my favorite lash of all time. And I discovered this, I didn't discover this lash, I found out about this lash from Mel Thompson because I had always wondered what she wore on her lashes. And a long time ago, she said this was it. I picked up a pair and never looked back. Anyways, the nice thing also about this, it comes in its little tray. So when you're in your hotel room, you get home for the night, you can put them back on the little tray. If you're staying for a few days, I mean, at the end of your trip, what you're going to do is you're just going to throw them away. I mean, I wouldn't come home with them. At that point, they're all kind of, you know, they're very used at the end of a Disney trip, trust me. So this is what I take for a Disney trip if I'm going to be extra and do lashes, which I've done every single time. Also, this last time, because we went for Halloween, I probably honestly would do this anytime now that I go. These little Swarovski crystals. So obviously you've seen the trend of the little crystals, like for the eyes, your inner corner, your liner, whatever the case may be. I took the ones that were like in an orangey type of shade, orange and gold, because of Halloween, and it really changed up my look. Now granted, yes, it adds extra time to your makeup in the morning. I was waking up 1 hour before my husband so that I could do hair and makeup and be ready to go. Now hair being like pull it back or do whatever I needed to do, not necessarily like curl it and style it. In Florida weather, trust me, if you've got frizzy hair, you may as well not even, you know, go for it, because it's just, you end up a frizzy mess by the end of the day. Anyways, so these are like little travel pots that I got at Walmart. They're like 2 for $1 in the travel section, and it's perfect because I can put my little jewels in here and go. Now, if you haven't seen how to stick these on, which I'm sure you have, eyelash glue will do the trick. And trust me, they hold all day long. After riding every single ride, wearing my makeup literally from about 5 in the morning to about 10 o'clock at night, these were still on. Ridiculous. So anyways, that is that. And that just is preference, obviously. You know, if you don't want to be that extra, definitely don't be that extra. Okay, so this is, I need to organize this palette drawer. But I'm just going to tell you that I typically take a Too Faced palette with me. Last year I took the Too Faced Gingerbread palette because it's just, I mean, there's just a lot to choose from in my opinion, and there's a lot that can make it, how can I put it, themed for the holiday, and it had those Christmas shades. This year I took a couple of different palettes. I primarily took the Urban Decay Honey palette, but I also took, let's see, so let's come in here. And let's start going through. Why can't I find what I'm looking for? So the Naked Honey is what I took because Halloween, obviously, you've got the like golds and you want orange and you want just that holiday or Halloween vibe. This is what I took and primarily used, and it worked so nicely with the gemstones that I took that I just showed you. And so this was my main palette. However, I will also tell you that the Too Faced palettes are a really great choice. So last year I took the gingerbread palette, and this year I took the extra spicy. And it just kind of allowed for when I didn't want those golds like for Halloween, then this allowed me to vary it up a little bit more. So options without really taking too much. So this was pretty perfect. Just, you know, 2 palettes had everything I needed. And again, it's really just up to you on how you're wanting to do your makeup, whether you're wanting to style it to the theme of the time you're going, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But you may consider doing like the monochromatic palettes that ColourPop has. Those are inexpensive and pretty much can give you everything that you need. So anyways, this is what we've got going on so far. So you've got your primer, your foundation, your concealer, your powder, you've got blush, you've got bronzer, you've got highlight, and then for eyes, you've got your lash glue, you've got your eye primer, you've got eyeliner, both liquid and pencil, you've got a couple of different options for your eyeshadow. You got something to take you extra or give you extra, and then lashes if you're wanting to go that extreme. So that's really all you need, except for one final thing, and of course your brushes. You just have to pick out what brushes you want. Now I'm going to tell you, this is probably, if you don't do this, this is my biggest recommendation, is that you pack everything. You have everything in your bag. The day that you are going to leave, do your makeup out of the makeup and brushes you have packed, because that'll tell you if you forgot something. It's easy to like do your makeup, then throw everything in a bag and you're good to go, but you could be forgetting a concealer brush, a blush brush. That's happened to me quite a few times. So I just learned to pack and then have my makeup bag on hand for when I, you know, come in my room here to do my makeup before we leave. And I do my makeup using the brushes and makeup out of that bag, and I can't tell you how many times it has saved me from forgetting something. Anyways, if you're going to Disney World, and I can speak for Disney World especially because of the Florida weather, you need a setting spray. I will say you need a setting spray more in the hot months than you do in the cold months. If you go like early December-ish to Florida, it is very cold. It's weird because like end of November, it's still really beautiful. It's like in the 70s and everything. If you go early December, then you've got some really cold evenings, nights. So you've got some bundling up to do. Anyways, but I can't even tell you how handy setting spray came in this last time that we went for Halloween, and it was incredibly hot. And I will tell you that the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray is, like, it lives up to the hype. I don't use it a whole lot. I don't use it as often on a day-to-day basis because I prefer just the sprays that are going to mold everything together for me. And that's really what I stick to. But when you take a trip, and if you're taking a trip to Disney World, you need Urban Decay All-Nighter. It will keep your makeup locked and loaded in a way I can't even describe. So don't leave home without that. If you're not wanting to fork over the money for that, buy the travel size. I think it's like that size I had been using already, so I didn't take a full bottle with me. It still has product in it, and I drenched my face in it every single day before leaving the hotel room. So that's really what we've got going on. Those are your biggest items to use like when you go to Disney World is your face primer, because you want a blank canvas, your setting spray, you want a good setting powder that's just going to kind of smooth it all out. You definitely want a good lash glue. I took the Kiss, my standard Kiss lash glue, the one with aloe, and it worked just fine. But again, take it with you in your bag to the parks in case your lashes start to kind of pop up in the corner. And then anything else you want that's going to be extra. Again, I know it takes time to do makeup, and a lot of times I'll also say it's different if you have a lot, you know, you have 2, 3, 4 kids with you, you got to get them up and ready. So a lot of times doing your own makeup is probably not priority, and I totally understand that as well. But if you were looking to do your makeup, this is kind of a way to just set it up for yourself to, you know, have minimal choices so that going in each morning, you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then those pictures are going to last forever. Just keep that in mind. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Shop My Stash. It's kind of a little bit of a different spin on it. For those of you who are interested, again, those of you who just may be taking your first trip to Disney World, wondering if you even should take makeup, for those of you who maybe want to change it up and take makeup, take different kind of makeup, whatever the case may be. I love doing it because I love the pictures that come out. And that's not to say that makeup makes your pictures. I mean, a lot of it is just your family dynamic, your poses, just a lot of it goes into having beautiful pictures for Disney World, but for me, a lot of it is I love how my makeup looks in these pictures. I love pulling it all together, like the theme and everything like that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful, maybe learned a tip or two. If you are going to Disney World in the very near future, please let me know in the comment section below. Let me know you are a fellow Disnerd, and I'd love to hear what makeup you're taking if you are taking any at all. Thank you again for watching, guys. I hope you have a most magical day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!